Now, from the present, let's look into the future. 2016 is the year where data will continue to be an even larger part of the user experience on smartphones around the world, in some cases replacing traditional voice calls and text messages altogether. That's one of the main forecasts of the 2016 edition of the Deloitte's Tech, Media and Telecommunications Report. In 2015, for example, the percentage of adults who will not make any phone call in any given week was 22% of those surveyed. That's forecast to rise to 26% this year. And, of course, compare that to 11% in 2012. Those who use IMs like WhatsApp, WeChat and Telegram instead of traditional text doubled last year to 59% from 27% in 2012. Now, this year alone, Deloitte is expecting about 100 carriers around the world to offer at least one packet-based voice service by the end of the year in order to attract these and serve these data-exclusive majority, most of whom, incidentally, are somewhere between the ages of 18 and 24. Now, this is a fascinating report. Paul Lee is the lead author of that latest edition of the Tech, Media and Telecommunications Report. Is with me in the studio right now. Thank you for your time, Paul. We've seen telcos in South Africa, for example, complaining about over-the-top service providers like WhatsApp and Skype and demanding a change in regulation to levy fees on such services. How have regulators in developed markets, the UK, Western Europe, the US, responded to that same challenge?
Well, generally what's been happening is regulators have permitted these services. So what we're seeing is a move away from separate text messages, voice calls and data to everything going over data. So that's the trend which we're seeing. And the great thing about over-the-top services is that they grow the demand for data services. So they encourage people to buy more data, to go for bigger bundles. So overall, one can argue that this is good for the telcos, and the telcos can monetize their ability to deliver complex networks which get faster and faster over time.
But would it be accurate to say, based on the data you've seen, that's essentially a one-for-one substitution? For every pound or dollar you lose on the voice call segment, you might actually gain the same amount, probably even more, on data costs?
So it's possible. I mean, it varies. I mean, one of the things which has changed is with a service like text messaging, the profitability, the gross margins was unusually high. With data, you don't have such high margins. The cost of deploying new networks is significant, and you never end in deploying new networks. So you may be able to swap a dollar for a dollar, but you may not make the same margin on the new revenues from data.
Indeed. Let's talk about OTT services like Netflix. They're going global. Data costs are falling across the world. Are they likely to upset the current revenue model that funds sports TV rights, given the size of the audience now and what they may command in the medium term?
Yeah, well, a company like Netflix and other companies like that, what they focus on is drama. They tend not to focus on sports. Sports is a $30 billion market for rights as of this year. Which is multiples of what is spent on drama. So if you look at the revenues from just the rights to show premium sports, it is 4 or 5 times what's currently being generated from over-the-top drama services. So currently there isn't the scale or the cash to be able to invest in sports rights. So that tends to be associated with existing broadcasters, often behind a paywall. So they're often pay TV companies.
Indeed. One last question for you, Paul. I found this really interesting in your presentation earlier today. You mentioned that the reports you put out often have an 80% accuracy as far as the predictions are made. In your time working on these reports, because this is now the 15th one coming out, what's the biggest trend you've missed and why did you miss it?
Well, I'll tell you about one which almost got away. So if you go back to 2009 when we had the big global recession, one of the questions we had back then was, would smartphones grow? And we actually came up with 2 different predictions. One was saying people wouldn't buy smartphones because they're too expensive, and another said people would focus on smartphones at the expense of everything else because they wanted that treat. And we ended up with going smartphones would be a treat, and luckily our forecast in that regard was correct. And smartphones are now a $400 billion business with about 1.5 billion sales per year. So that's one that almost got away, Rama.
Indeed, we'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for your time this evening, Paul. We appreciate it. Paul Lee there from Deloitte. If you can get your hands on that report, it's definitely worth reading. Has some really interesting insights into where the future is heading, especially for this business that we're in right now.